Good morning. Ooh, okay, the mic is going. We have the text line here. So far, so good. Good morning, our internet friends. Welcome
How
to
are
the
ya?
Medicare
How are
Cafe
you?
pre-chat. I'm great. It's been I don't want to use the word hectic, but it's been a morning, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that if I'm bored or if things are slow and I'm bored, then everyone's in danger. So when I'm really busy, everybody around me is very happy.
There you go.
So that's been the case.
But busy is different than hectic. I don't think we really I don't like hectic.
I thrive in chaos. If I don't feel a little
Those words will never come out of my mouth, ever.
No, you're way too type A for that. I thrive in the chaos. If things aren't a little dicey, then I don't know how to handle a situation. I'll go create drama with it just so that I feel alive, you know?
Not I.
I don't have enough spreadsheets.
I kind of matched the background today.
You do. I actually had on a blue shirt today, and then it didn't quite
man.
go with the whole aesthetic, so yeah.
You should have.
I know.
Put it on the same wavelength.
Didn't think about it. So welcome. Really excited show we have planned for you guys today. We have a few minutes before really the 10 o'clock show, the main event goes on. So Kari is kind of updating me some stuff with her new designation and kind of something that I thought was, okay, so can you explain a little bit more that you get to charge for that, for what you're doing now?
So it's really more of a it's under the financial planning umbrella than insurance umbrella.
Okay.
Because it is and
I'm getting our
retirement income analysis.
Okay.
That's really what it is.
An income.
So retirement income analysis.
Okay. I didn't say
specifically
any of those
social security.
Okay.
So when I, for instance, way back when I was doing financial planning, there was a set $2,500 for financial planning fee. This is much smaller than that, but a fee for a social security analysis.
Okay.
And I've got to show you it sometime.
I'm really excited. I want to sit down and role play. I'm somebody who I'm 65. Here is this. Maybe I'm drawing off of a deceased husband's. I want to know what that all looks like from your perspective. But it does bring up a really great conversation about when is it appropriate to charge a fee? Because there's and the completely different compared to when is it not appropriate or even compliant to charge a fee for things. And that was something that you actually sat down, talked to our compliance officer and says, what does this look like?
Yep.
And ultimately it came down to as long as it's not with your current Medicare client, then charging a fee is completely fine.
Yep.
So the idea there is actually a Department of Insurance rule and regulation that if you are receiving compensation from a carrier or receiving commissions on something, you are not allowed to charge a fee on it. It's a Department of Insurance rule. Now, what's really interesting is that a lot of people, especially whenever ACA took a big dump because that's not ladylike, but when UHC said that they were done, no, not UHC, excuse me, when ACA said that they were done paying commissions to agents because they did that for a while, then that people said, okay, fine, I'm going to start doing this as a service and charging a fee. So there was a lot of conversation about
interesting.
That. It's actually, again, it's not, I don't want to use the word illegal. It's not non-compliant. It's not a problem to charge a fee for your services as long as you are not also receiving commissions at that appointment.
Right.
So it's one or the other.
And it's a whole separate engagement.
Yeah, with your whole thing,
letter, everything is separate.
That's a complete I'm a 101. That's an 801 conversation.
Brother.
It really is. I'm completely lost on it. I'm really excited to draw on your experiences, but yeah,
I'm excited.
That's
I've got my list of clients that are just waiting for me to go live, and I can't wait.
Because you're a big thing. Your big thing is seminars and working with the professionals. So you'll be able to do CE credits for Medicare and Social Security with financial planners or for who?
Yes. So right now, I know for my CFP, we have to get 40 continuing education credits. There's rarely any actual in-person events. And just with other CFPs that I know in the area, they're why don't we have more events?
Yeah, I want this.
And so I will be able to host I'm getting approved by the CFP board to host continuing education for CFPs on Medicare and Social Security.
That's going to be so cool. I'm very proud of you.
That's very exciting. Thanks. I'm excited.
Very, very exciting. So
we learn by teaching the most.
Honestly, that's
why I like them so much because I learn the most by every single one that I do, even though I'm basically talking about the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I learned so much more each time I do it.
And become more confident. I think that's a big thing too, becoming more confident on the content.
I never am not scared.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Like never. I always am so anxious that first like few minutes, but
yeah. I mean, and that is true because like people are like, right? Oh, you seem so confident, you seem so comfortable, and it's like if you're not a little bit nervous, then you're not prepped enough. Like if you just go there like, oh, I'll wing it, it'll be okay, then like you're not giving that event the respect it deserves.
Wing it is not in my vocabulary.
No. I mean, it kind of is for mine, and it shows. It shows. No, that's a really great point. That like you do again. It's. I remember whenever I got my start in this industry by cold calling. That's what I did. I just cold called 8 hours a day, and I remember. Like, it took me literally years to not have to do this. And, like, today, because I'm on the phone a lot less than I used to be, but I have to get on the phone and I do this. Literally, like, I sit there and, like, will have to pump myself up.
To make a cold call?
To just, like, get on the phone and call somebody. They're not expecting my call. What do I do? Like, it's it's uncomfortable. And so, like, I literally have to, like, okay, go. And, like, not think about it. And it was so funny because I did that for, 365 days.
Yeah.
And I did that 8 hours a day. I mean, like, obviously I had weekends and vacations and blah, 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 but still. And I still, even at the end of my first year, still had to, like, after that first call was done, it was fine. It was just, going through it. But that first call, I always had to kind of, like,
well, do you remember when I first started at the cafe, I was like, I do seminars all the time. Mm-hmm. This is so much different, though, you guys. Like,
yeah.
This is way harder than giving any presentation to a live audience. Which I find that
hilarious because we're all friends here, and like
there's not the like pressure or stress, but it's actually I think harder.
So I am actually the same way. I do way better with an audience than I do a camera lens.
You're looking at people and not your own face.
Yeah, and you kind of like get to react to them. You kind of see how the crowd is doing and things like that. I'll tell you one thing. We got to get started, but I'll tell you the only time that hasn't been the case, and that was whenever I used to do pretty often. It was NAHU, National Association of Health Underwritings, but now it's NABIP. I used to speak at their conference at least 2 times a year. I would go to different conferences and be a speaker there. And I'll tell you what, that was the one time of year that I'm like, I wish this wasn't face-to-face. Because my style of speaking and like how I do my speeches does not land in that crowd.
Oh, no.
Like, I am telling jokes. I'm calling it Hurricane Irma and, like, doing all these things and, like, not even a smirk.
Hurricane Irma. That's
right.
awesome.
And, like, because I was teaching classes on when group insurance meets Medicare and what does that transition look like. And I did it for CE credits. And, again, I did it a few times a year. And one time I had somebody come up to me like, thank you for making that fun. But one time out of probably a dozen that I did.
Oh,
so,
man.
like, I no longer volunteer and I no longer speak at those events because I'm like,
what a shame. They don't know what
I'm not reading the crowd right and they're not having a great time. So, if you've ever been to, I'm sure a lot of people on here have seen me speak at the NAHU and artists previously known as NAHU. And you were probably in the audience.
I think you need to get back in there. They don't know what they're missing.
No, I guess I'm just not their cup of tea. I'm more of a coffee. Hence the cafe.
Yeah.
So welcome.
What are we talking about today?
Welcome everybody to the Medicare Cafe. Today we're gonna be talking about free $0 marketing techniques and lead generation ideas. And the number one reason why we're gonna do that is right here. Reminder, guys, we don't know the final rule yet, but there is a potential rule going to be announced later in April talking about how TPMOs cannot sell client information or beneficiary information to other TPMOs, meaning that you will not be able to purchase leads anymore.
I'm surprised this hasn't happened sooner, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting. You're actually seeing people, again, for an example, Chris Weir over at Lead Concepts is actually switching gears to promoting seminars and doing seminars so that you're still generating your own leads. He's just getting people to your seminars. So the lead vendors who are kind of on the up and coming are switching to this as well. But just remember, like, it's not approved yet. We'll find out if that's going to be the case at the end of April. But just knowing that it's a possibility.
That's right around the corner.
It's a month. I was
month and a half.
Dead air. Anyway. And then also a great thing to always keep in mind is how to lower your client acquisition costs.
Oh, yeah.
There's 2 ways to make money. Number 1 is selling more business. Number 2 is saving more money. Yep. So making sure that you're lowering your client acquisition costs. So these are some free ways to get in front of more people.
Love it.
First one, let's talk about social media.
We were just talking about this morning.
I know. Well, you were, because you are ahead of the curve, and I
don't
am.
know about that. Just like a week. Just by a week.
I know, but like I'm so in denial. I'm always going to cheer for Facebook and LinkedIn. You need to make sure that you are on Facebook and LinkedIn because it is free. You don't have to advertise. You don't have to boost there. What those platforms are designed is to get a face, is to build a relationship that feels very one-on-one with a mass group of people. So that LinkedIn is going to be your networking partners. Social media is going to be beneficiaries and consumers. And then make sure that you're not just posting like articles and like things we have on SMS Agent Connect. We post daily content for our agents to post on their own social media.
The real stuff.
But you need the real stuff. You need what's going on with you and your agency, what's going on with your staff, what's going on with your own family. Because again, the whole purpose of this is to feel like you're building a relationship. So step 1, be seen, be on there. Step 2, let people get to know you, personally professional, so that people are more familiar with you. I'm going to shut up and let you talk about TikTok.
Well, hold on. Let me go back and say the 3. So I've had a Facebook business page for 4 years, and I've gotten maybe 3 or 4 clients from it. Directly from Facebook. LinkedIn, I use regularly, and I've gotten several strategic alliance partners.
Referral partners.
From that. Love it. TikTok, I've had 2 weeks.
I'm going to be upset.
I've had 2 weeks is all. No, I haven't. So there's no I had no clients from it yet by any means.
But it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. I've posted 7 videos total. My goal was to get to a point where I can do it every day, but it's hard to come up with content. But so most of the first 4 videos, I only had about 300 watches. I posted one yesterday, and that's what I was telling Ben about. I've got 1,700.
Oh my gosh.
Watches on that one. 2 people favorited it.
What?
Favorited it. And I've had people asking Social Security questions on there.
Really? So
yes.
you're getting a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
On there. More than you probably get on your social media, on your Facebook and LinkedIn, for sure.
Yes. 1,700 is by far more.
I need to get on TikTok.
I mean, it's just, Sadie said, is it a goal for you to generate leads from TikTok, or is it more just getting in front of people? I think it's more of just brand awareness. I just really agree you are your brand. And I you just never know who's watching. If I get actual leads from it, that's awesome. But the way, I grow my business is by referral partners and seminars like we're talking about. So hopefully people see me as a well-known brand in Social Security and Medicare. Oh, they also see I'm hosting a seminar. Yeah. They'll come. I don't know.
Well, and that's what, again, it's very, doing social media, but TikTok especially, is a very pull style marketing. Yeah. You're not pushing your content. You're not sending it to people directly, but they come across it. And the more they see you, the more they become familiar with you. Right. Familiarity just kind of cultivates trust. And so people feel like before they even have an appointment with you, they see you in their feed, because that's where people are on. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're not on Facebook as much as they used to be. They're not on LinkedIn as much as we would like for them to be. They're using TikTok. And our staff, they talk about that's where they learn a lot of the new stuff is by going on TikTok.
They had to teach me. Sadie and Ben taught me a lot about TikTok. And what hashtags to use and all of that.
I'm taking this for myself. I know. I'm just so grumpy.
Yeah, I'm grumpy about it. I did not want to believe that it was
gonna work.
Yeah,
but it's living proof that it works.
Yeah,
good for you. So get on TikTok, guys.
Story we'll check back in on that.
We'll check back in.
Maybe my next one will have more
progress
more
coming.
Maybe I'll go viral in the next week. Who knows?
Oh my god! I don't know how you do that. I love that. I don't know how to viral. How do you viral? It sounds scary. The next thing we're gonna tell you to do, guys, is make sure a free idea. Work your current book of business. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. We've done, oh my gosh, countless webinars about how your best leads and your best way of growth is to work with your current book of business. But for example, MailChimp. MailChimp is an email service. It is completely free. for up to 2,000 email addresses and 12,000 emails a month. And so if you just do like a monthly newsletter or things like that on there, it's super easy to create, it's super easy to work with, and it's free. So it's a really great way to like keep in touch, kind of like a passive way to keep in touch with your clients. You can also do e-blast campaigns with that, with people who you haven't connected with yet. The rules and regulations is a little different because people have to opt into your email, but you can put like leads and people on that email list as long as they say, yes, I agree to be on your email list. So it's a great way. It's free. It just takes time.
And it's easy. An email blast is so easy.
It's so easy. In addition to that, I also want to put on here, just call them. I will tell you, my PNC insurance people, they'll randomly just call me and just be like, hey, we just want to make sure, we want to make sure that if you're having any questions or any issues on that. We had a client that just asked us the question about this, so we just want to make sure everybody understood that wording. And I'll tell you what, like, I answer the phone when they call. And it's because, like, I know they're not calling to sell me something new. They're calling to check in. They're calling to do something. So, like, it costs no money to just call through your current book of business and just a simple check-in. Make sure that they're using their gym membership. Make sure that they're using, that they're going to the dentist if they have those benefits. And,
I just did that yesterday with a client, and she was just thrilled that I called her. She
Really?
told me, like, 10 different times. Well, thank you for calling. Thank you for checking in.
I love that.
She was just like,
well, there has to be like a
so
twinge
happy.
of anxiety of like, what's wrong? A professional, my advisor, somebody I meet with is calling me, something must be wrong.
Yep.
So when you call them and be like, no, I actually just want to make sure that you liked your plan. Then that's like, again, just high endorphins.
I typically do that she was a newer client and a new client in AEP. And I like to do follow-ups with my brand new clients.
Of course. And it works.
So,
and I mean, I want to follow up on this. I'm sure you're going to get referrals from her. Because
she lives in an assisted living.
Done.
She's got friends.
She's got friends in low. Anyways, the next thing we had for here to make sure that you do do these free marketing ideas.
Yep.
This is your bread and butter. Your seminars for networking partners. Can you kind of tell us like what this looks like when you do a seminar for one of your networking partners?
So a lot of times,
and yours are the financial people.
Yep. So they can be either seminars for actual financial advisors. So maybe it's, there's a bank in town that has a trust department with there's about 12 of them. And, I've done a couple of seminars for their whole advisory board and their admins. It can look like that. And again, it's just educational. And that I love those types of seminars because they're none of your prospects. So you aren't bound to the same compliance.
Yeah, you don't have to register them. You don't have to do any of that stuff because they're not beneficiaries.
If they ask a specific question about like a specific, you can say it.
Yeah.
And then there's also the like seminars for their clients I've got an Edward Jones advisor who I spoke at an Edward Jones retirement conference last year. And he said, that seminar you gave, can you give it to all my 60 to 65-year-olds?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can. I said, bump it up to 70.
Yeah.
Like, don't put an age limit on there. It's like any 60 plus, like, invite them.
Yeah.
Very cool. What I loved is he said, I think I'm going to just invite 100 people because hopefully that'll get like 20 to 30 there. It's like, you got it.
And like literally like that's them. And that's what I love about what you do is that you make it like I'm a value add. Like a lot of your partners will actually say Kari is a member of my team. She's my Medicare side of this and she helps. What I love about that is that like it truly is free. They're the ones providing the venue. They're the ones providing the venue. They're the ones providing a lot of times like any extra materials. They're the ones doing the invitations because they see the value of that service. And so they're willing to do that.
I haven't talked much about this lately, but I'm kind of getting my feet wet with some new referral partners. Yeah. That are employee group
love
administrators.
Those. Yeah.
Or they do employee benefits. And
so are they the HR like coordinators or are they actually like the insurance people?
So they're actually the insurance people who are the go-to people for all the HR people.
Got it. Okay.
So just yesterday, one of the insurance admin, he called me and he said, hey, I have a 200-person group plan in Wichita, Kansas. They have a bunch of employees getting ready to retire, and they want a Medicare seminar. Are you willing to go to Wichita?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So, like, that's a whole nother group that I also had another employee benefits group that I work with. They had a group of teachers that were retiring. Same thing. They wanted to do a Medicare seminar. So there's such a good way to get in front of a ton of people.
I mean, I love it. And keep in mind, guys, we also have, like, we have these HR networking guides to where, like, you can give them to somebody who is an HR admin, and they can kind of say, like, here's what you need to know as an HR person about how group insurance works with Medicare. Anything beyond that, call me. So we have those, and we also have the seminars already made. So, like, if anybody is interested in doing that, again, you have a great resource here, Kari. Feel free to ask any questions about doing that. Feel free to ask any questions about doing that. But again, I think something that you've done amazing is you've made it to where you're not spending money on that. People are spending money to get you in front of their own clients. Now, if you do have to make sure that, like, you're supplying snacks or coffee or things like that, because a lot of times, like, guest speakers from out will do that.
Right.
Get with your local reps, because oftentimes they'll sponsor those.
So I've had ours say that. Next event, let me do that.
Yeah, they'll pay for, like, the cookies, the handouts. Sometimes they'll pay for a venue. So make sure, again, guys, when we talk about this, those marketing dollars oftentimes are going to be given out at the local level. And most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, those local people are for Medicare Advantage plans. That, you know, you don't see a lot of ancillary or supplemental local reps out there, so it's very much for the Medicare Advantage stuff. But
it sounds like the MedSup reps are getting more.
We're getting to see more MedSup reps out there, and we're seeing more ancillary product reps out there. So we are seeing that more, but they're used to working at an FMO level, at like the hierarchy level. They're starting to kind of disseminate to the agents and kind of be able to work face to face with those agents. But the idea here is, like, even if you're not doing a Medicare Advantage branded event, they'll still sponsor, and they'll still, because they want to build a relationship with you, the agent. So make sure that you get to know. Now, if you just go to your local rep and say, hey, I'm doing a Medicare and diabetes seminar, will you sponsor it? Like, maybe don't start a relationship
like that.
like doing this, but making sure that you are consistently, like, getting to know them, so that when they have that relationship with you, a lot of times these reps get a budget every year, and they say you have to spend this money this year. That's how we kind of track if you're doing your job.
Yeah.
And if you don't spend this money this year, you're going to get less money next year.
So they want to spend it.
So they want to make sure, but they want to spend it on something that they're going to get a return of their investment on. So seminars are certainly a great way to do that, but have the relationship with that person first.
And now's the time to do it outside of AEP.
100%. Now's the time to do it. And the last thing we have on here are just other networking ideas, other activities, again, for making sure that you are getting in front of people.
Events, for sure. Yes, it might not be free to attend, I guess, some of those networking events, but the actual networking while you're there, I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to talk about your business to anybody and everybody, and you should.
100%. I've gone to a couple of them. There's, like, some, like, chamber events here. Some of them are free. A lot of the ones that I've gone to are, like, women in leadership, things like that, where they have a guest speaker come in, so you do. But, like, I've met a lot of really great. I'll tell you, actually, one of the best things that I've done for my networking was my local Toastmasters. I haven't attended it in, actually, it's been a couple years now, but I used to be a master, or not a master. I used to be a member of Toastmasters, my local Toastmasters chapter, and a lot of those people are, like, other professionals trying to learn how to communicate, learn how to speak well. It's a great leadership. A lot of them were over the age of 65 because they're people trying to keep busy and keep, you know, a lot of them were, like, chamber members and things like that. So I'm a huge fan. That was one of the best events and clubs that I did was Toastmasters.
Any group like that, a Rotary, BNI, chamber.
Get in there. Do you do BNI?
I did. I did BNI for my first 2 years. And
did it work?
It did.
I don't hear good things about BNIs.
I think you have to have the right one, and I think you will get out of it what you put in.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I think. But it's not like...
It seemed like it was really,
I don't think it's a long-term... thing. Like, I am still friends with and referral partners with about 5 of the people in that BNI.
I always hear it's, like, a lot of rules. Like, you have to refer this many people to get blah, 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 blah. Like, it felt a little...
It is. That aspect of it, it's really silly.
It's really silly.
Really silly. But I feel like if you just get to know the people in there, there will be some people that, if you need a plumber, like... you now know one really well. or
Yeah.
if you need a water softener guy.
Water softener guy?
That's one of the guys I know well.
Really? Just
Yep.
a water, like he's a
And
guy
he
for
sent
water
me
softeners?
4 people. Yeah.
Well, I've been wrong twice today. Shocking.
The Mary Kay consultant that was in there. Do you know who she markets to?
Who does she market to? The people ordering Mary Kay are the people who are 65
plus
and older. Yes,
people.
yeah. Man,
So-
this is not a great feeling of being wrong. I don't like it.
But you, like, 2 absences and you're gone.
Yeah.
So, like, and it's every week for 2 hours. Do you know how hard it is to designate
I
2
don't,
hours
I don't
of your
get
week
to
every
eat
week?
lunch more than half of my week. I don't
Yeah.
get lunch, let alone 2 hours to go that I have to be at.
So if you...
I don't do well with authority, I think. I think that's my problem.
If you half-ass it, you're not going to get...
That's fair.
I don't think.
We had a really great question that I don't know the answer to, but I'm going to look into. Will referral partners be considered TPMOs? Referral partners, will they need to be reported to the carriers? Listen, my initial response is no.
Yeah.
Because you're not...
Any, like...
I would say if you're paying money for it, like if you're doing like a
maybe.
lead program for referral partners and you're paying for the leads, I'm almost positive that's going to be a yes. But, like, I want to do some research for this. Like, for Kari, I don't think yours would be because they're just referring you the information.
Yeah.
You're not paying anything
Right.
for it. Money, financials is not
How
involved.
could you stop your parents from sending you their friends? It's no
Exactly.
different
Would
than
you
that.
have to? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to do a little bit of digging. I'm going to reach out to our compliance officer and kind of see, like, where does the TPMO... Agents are considered TPMO, but, like, where does that stop?
So I have a good example of that. I had a disability attorney reach out to me and ask me if I wanted to buy, like, all of their past clients
That seems...
for, like, $50 a name. And I told them, because they said they had somebody from, out of town they didn't know present them this. And they're like, we know you do Medicare. We thought we would ask you first if you were interested. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I am never a fan for paying for names, paying for referrals, paying for anything like that because, I think that's where things
You're
can get
making
a little
them look good.
dicey.
You shouldn't have to. You just really shouldn't have to.
Find other ways to add value to that organization that's not Benjamin's.
And then just thank them afterwards. Take them to dinner. Buy them a bottle of whiskey. That's what I usually do.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. That's perfect.
And keep their clients happy.
Another question we have is talking about above. It says...
Read above answer.
Yeah, the copay listed for Eliquis mail order definitely changed after 11/3 Humana Part D. So again, we're asking a question that's something I've been working with you with. If you want to just email me over that and have some conversations. Essentially, it was a leftover question from last week talking about
formularies changing.
Yeah, the formularies changing. So formularies, providers, all of that stuff when it comes to Medicare Advantage and Part D plans, those can change throughout the year. The only things that cannot change are the structure of that plan. So they can't change the set copays, they can't change the deductibles, they can't change the structure of how that plan looks. But like it is very possible that a plan will go off of a tier or like it'll change tiers throughout the year. That same medication can start out as a generic tier 1 or like as a tier 3, and then it could completely fall off the formulary. It can move up the tier levels. The number one reason for that,
there's no special election.
And there's no election for that. No. The biggest reason why formularies will change throughout the year is because oftentimes drugs will lose their patent in the middle of the year. And then whenever a drug loses their patent, then other companies can make generics of that. And so when a generic becomes available, oftentimes the carrier will say, okay, we're no longer covering this brand. We're only going to cover the generic versions of it. And so that happens. It's not the only reason.
It just sucks.
But it is the most common reason why formularies will change throughout the years. Again, providers can leave networks, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
On a Medicare Advantage and PDP, and there is no election period for that. So again, if but this one is saying like I copy copay listed for Eliquis mail order definitely changed after November 13th. That can absolutely happen. And then keep in mind too, like the plans, again,
They're
they can
just
change.
estimates.
They're just estimates. They can change at any time. Email you where olivia.richardson@smsteam.net. That is my email address, olivia.richardson@smsteam.net. But like this is common. That absolutely can happen. That's why actually fun fact, Medicare Center is actually changing a couple things to where they're calling it snapshots, so that you can actually take a snapshot of what that plan looked like when you quoted it at that time. So if it does, so if it does change if they're paying copays and all of a sudden premium goes up, or copay goes up or down, you can say, well, based on what I quoted you at this time on November 13th, this is
will it be a button you have to press to
it's gonna automatically do it when at the time of you enrollment. If you enroll through Medicare Center, at the time of enrollment, it takes a screenshot of the prescriptions that they were on.
When are they doing this?
They're hopefully rolling it out before the fourth quarter, before AEP this year.
I like that.
So they're calling it a snapshot, so you can see exactly, what did that drug look like at the time of application. But yeah, throughout the year, premiums can change, copays can change, everything like that, because they move tiers.
And hopefully you can print that out with the application saying, based on today, these are the estimates. Mm-hmm. Again, reinforcing that these are estimates. Mm-hmm. Everything's subject to change.
Yeah, great point. So guys, that is what we have for today's Medicare Cafe. We appreciate you guys. Also, make sure you join the Medicare Cafe Facebook group. Clayton and Ben are doing a lot of really cool stuff on there. There was a survey that they put out that said, like, hey, tell me your experience with ancillary products. Are you, yes, I know I should sell it, but I don't know how. Yes, I sell it at every appointment. Tell me your comfort level with that. Knowing that content really helps us drive like where we take our conversations. So make sure you check those out. But yeah, join that group. There's a lot of really cool things happening there.
And if you guys are part of any networking groups that we haven't mentioned, send them in the comments. I'd love to know what they are, because I'm always looking for more.
I know. Yeah. Again, Toastmasters was my favorite, but there's
an O club. I can't remember.
An O club?
I want to say Optimum, but it's not it. There's Kiwanis, and I always say that wrong. It starts with an O. There's an O.
I'm not the person to ask, clearly.
An O club out there.
Are you sure it's a networking?
I think it is.
That sounds like...
Yes. I do.
I was going to try to make a dirty joke, but I'm not clever enough for that. Anyways.
If anybody knows what I'm talking about.
Did we mention that we have a seminar presentation materials available? If so, who should I reach out to get started? Thank you for your question. Absolutely. We have, Senior Marketing Specialist has something called Seminars in a Box, and we have things like top 10 things you didn't know about Medicare, Medicare and diabetes, Medicare 101s. We have 6 different presentations on there. Just call our office, 1-800-689-2800. And as long as you have at least one active contract with Senior Marketing Specialist, you have access to all of that for free. Nice. So if you have one active contract with us, call us. We can more than happy to get you hooked up. If you don't have an active contract with us, still call that number and talk to our outreach team. They will find out if you're happy with your upline. Don't move. Stay where you're at. We never want to disrupt a relationship, but maybe there's new opportunities that we can work with you on so that you still get access to those materials. That's our big thing. We never want to this industry is way too small to burn bridges. We never want to disrupt a good relationship. So if you're happy where you're at, don't move, but we can probably figure out some way to work together.
Yeah, love it.
Cool.
Optimus,
thank you. Are you coming in clutch?
I was close with Optimum.
You were? Oh, we got another one. Optimus Club.
Yes.
Thank you, Arnie.
Thank you.
We got a lot of people. Optimus Club. Thank you guys for helping.
I'm not crazy.
We were struggling, but...
I don't remember what Optimus Club does, but
optimistic.
I knew there was an O.
Optimus Club.
I want to say it's with...
I need to be schooled on all of this stuff. I feel inadequate. So, on that note, appreciate you guys so incredibly much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Join us next Tuesday at 10 a.m. where we talk about more things fun in the industry and kind of...
Send us your ideas on what you want to hear from.
What do you want to hear about? We're happy to talk about it. We know how to talk. So tell us what you want us to talk about. Awesome. Appreciate you all so much. So until next time, have fun.
Make money.
And give impeccable service. Thanks.
Thank you.